Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Let's talk about being careful what you wish for. Maybe we should phrase it like that. Because Lawrence Okolie has been talking about who he wants to face next. Now, you may have seen him on the undercard of the Dubois Usyk rematch. He fought Kevin Lerena. It was a dull fight. Dull fights are not alien to the career of Mr. Okolie. This was his second fight at heavyweight. He went the distance against, he's a cruiserweight come Bridgerweight, really. Lerena, he's too small for heavyweight. Okolie said he damaged his bicep, ripped his bicep in the first or second round. And it was really a case of, is this back to the old Okolie, really? Because it was a dull fight. If he was injured, he was injured, but you're in against a much smaller man. It was just a disappointment. But that doesn't seem to have dampened Lawrence Okolie's, ambition. Because, he's 32 now, Okolie. So he's got to get his skates on. He's not old for a heavyweight. 32 isn't old for a heavyweight. But the people he's talking about fighting, the one that he picked above all else was none other than Kabayel, Agit Kabayel. This is why I say be careful what you wish for. He said he, being Kabayel, is the only person who's higher ranked than me with the WBC. So aside from him, it would probably be Fabio Wardley. That's who he wants to fight. Now, Fabio Wardley, of course, had that come from behind one punch stoppage of Justice Hooney. Fantastic comeback with just a one punch blowout. He was getting completely outclassed by Hooney. And then found the punch from somewhere. And it's been well documented that that Fabio Wardley, didn't have an amateur career. He's essentially a white-collar fighter, which is just very good. He's a natural fighter. He's got that natural spite, that instinct, fighting man's instinct, which you just can't teach. Very entertaining to watch. I like Fabio Wardley a lot. And there's no doubt that there's no quitting him. He was being slapped around and stood on his head by Justice Hooney, but he never quit. But clearly someone with that kind of mentality, that kind of psyche, is a threat to anyone. And so for Okolie to pick him, you can't. Okay, talk's cheap. Would Okolie actually fight Kabayel? Would he fight Wardley? I don't know. But he said the reason he was asked about Fabio Wardley, he said the reason why I'd pick him it's interest is because he's a British fighter and he's undefeated, 19-0-1. And the draw, of course, the return was a one-round blowout of Fraser Clark. And he's got 18 KOs, Wardley as well. He's explosive, says Okolie of Wardley. It's a fight where I'd have to be at my absolute best to win, and I like that one. And of course, we know that Okolie and Wardley are both promoted by Queensberry, by Frank Warren. And Warren has suggested that Kabayel have a sort of German homecoming because his three recent excellent victories have been over in Riyadh. Wardley, for his part, has expressed an interest of facing the winner of Kubrat Pulev, who's must be about 8 years of age now, and Michael Hunter, and that's for the WBA regular title. We don't need a WBA regular title, of course. It's a bullshit title, but it's a bargaining chip, I suppose. So if Fabio Wardley was to get that, it might increase his market value. I don't know really, but food for thought. Okolie, he's coming in the 260s weight-wise, which, considering that until 2 years ago he was a cruiserweight and then he stopped off at Bridgerweight for a one-round blowout to win the Bridgerweight title. Then he jumped straight to heavyweight. To come in at 260, he does look quite portly around the gut, and that's something I know about. So maybe he should come down to 245, maybe, something like that, 240. And he'd have a little bit more mobility because he does have the skills. There's no doubt in my mind that against Wardley, Okolie, if he found his rhythm and his range and he was able to thread his skills together, he would give Wardley problems. But of course, he does seem to go very gun-shy very quickly when he's belted. And if Wardley could impose his power on him, then perhaps he could, perhaps Okolie would go into his shell and it would be a hugfest again. I don't know. Against Kabayel, I think Kabayel would chop Lawrence Okolie to bits, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? Who would you put Okolie in with next? Do you even care? But if you had to pick one, would you go for the all-British matchup, Okolie versus Wardley? Or are you intrigued by Okolie versus Kabayel? Interesting thought. The heavyweight division I think it's rocking and rolling. A lot of people have said, well, Fury's retired in inverted commas. AJ is looking to fight Jake Paul. I mean, oh God, don't even get me started on that shit. Usyk's coming to the end, possibly. The heavyweight division is going to go into some sort of slumber. I don't think so. I think there's enough talent out there to keep it very interesting for a while longer. And guess what? A lot of those heavyweights are under the Queensberry banner. So it could be very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed for some time to come. But let me know what you think. Comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. If you like the video, spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And I always appreciate your support. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and bye for now.